Bethesda just never learns, do they? They just keep messing it up. How hard it is to just release a game and then never update it in their entire lives and just hope that someone in the community is gonna do it for them. Let's be honest, that is kind of not the greatest mentality to have. It's actually pretty messed up to a degree, but when applied to Bethesda, this is the best that we can get. At this point, there are no people left in this world who believe that Bethesda can do anything, right? There are no people that believe that Bethesda has even a single talented person working for them. It is just an absolute waste of time. That's right, absolutely disgusting. Bethesda can't do anything, right? Most people have actually accepted that. Starfield literally was the final nail in Bethesda's coffin to a very, very, very real degree. Because after that, people understood, wow, this is bad. Listen, when you're a company known for making role-playing games and open-world role-playing games, and you deliver slop with no sprinkles, may I add, and then your lead writers come out and say, you people who dislike my masterpiece are just bad. You don't understand what true good things be. And then you double down, then you continue to triple and quadruple down, and then you make an expansion that addresses literally zero of the critiques that people had. And, well, needless to say, your studio's pretty much dead at that point. Then the Fallout the TV show comes out, is somehow successful because of tourists. And then after that, guess what happens after that? You need to cash in, obviously. So you're making a remake of Fallout 3. Not New Vegas, which would be way, way, way more loved. And make way more money, by the way. But Fallout 3, because Todd Howard cannot take a loss. And he's spiteful and a loser. And a lot of other negative things, may I add. And then you upgrade Fallout 4 with the next generation of graphics, and no one can tell which graphics are actually better. No one has any idea. Some of the upgrades look by far worse. Some of them look better. I guess. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, I guess. But for the most part, it's a complete failure and completely dull and boring, and no one really likes it. So there you go. So there you go, boys. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? And then Bethesda decides to update Fallout 4 again and break it. And then they break it again, and now they have done it again. Like, why? Why do you even try? You have broken everything you have touched, and you're like still updating things? You can't even make the goddamn cash shop work properly. 5 years ago, no one expected to see a company that fails to make their microtransaction shop work. Bethesda has had an unworking microtransaction shop for literally months now in some games. It is insane. They can't even fix their microtransaction shop. Do you think a company like this is gonna fix a bug ever? Do you think a company like this can make a game? Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out in I hope it gets cancelled. I hope Fallout 5 gets cancelled, because I don't want to see any games made by Bethesda. It's just a disappointment. It's not worth it. No, most people, in fact, do not want to see Bethesda make any games. We just want those IPs to just be randomly handed to someone. At this point, let's be honest, it's probably something that Tencent owns. So they actually make a game. Or Bladian, but they're already doing their own thing, so that's not gonna happen. So it's pointless. It's completely dead in the water. Everyone hates it, and they just continue to make it worse. It is insanity. The bright side is, after Todd Howard has messed up so many times, there is a chance that Microsoft decides, you know what, Todd? No one likes you anymore. We kept you around because you were the face of the company. But at this point, it seems like it's better that the company has no face, because the damage you have done to it is monumental and everyone hates you at this point. So maybe Todd Howard gets fired. I mean, you cannot fail Starfield. Like, if you're Microsoft and you pay nine billion for Bethesda, I think you're pretty frustrated with your investment at this point. You paid 8 billion for Starfield. Starfield. That's probably that probably doesn't feel good. You know what I'm saying?
Earlier today, Fallout 4 got a new update. This was the previously announced December patch, and the one that was meant to bring the mod storage increase for consoles. Sadly, that storage increase did not come today. In reality, what we got was a relatively small bug-fixing patch. Sadly, this hasn't even addressed one of the biggest ongoing problems, so as you could probably imagine, quite a few fans are pretty frustrated.
Wait, what was that? What was that comment right there? The first one that we saw? That was silly.
So as you could probably...
What do they even do over there? Welcome to Bethesda. Clearly, you're new here. The answer is break the game.
I imagine.
Too busy launching Skyrim on the car stereo digital display. True.
Quite a few fans are pretty frustrated.
What are they even doing anymore? Also valid questions.
With the game right now. One of the first fixes is around some of the continued issues with the Creations bundle. Yeah, that thing that launched a month ago. Some users on Steam were not able to activate this bundle even after buying it. You would see it in your own DLC on the Steam side, but once in game, it would never show up as owned and downloads of these items would fail.
Good. If you're buying this slop, honestly, you know what? Based, Bethesda, based. Just take their money and don't give them anything. It's just easier that way. It's better, honestly. It's better that these people learn the hard way that you cannot be trusted.
This patch should finally fix that, at least for Steam users. Separately, there's been issues with this on the PlayStation side as well, but it seems like those problems are still ongoing, although more on some of the ongoing PlayStation problems in a moment. Because separately, for those of you that do buy this Creations bundle, it still has all of its problems. I covered this bundle in my own video as I gradually lost my mind.
Wait, yeah, you can... Oh! Juice is reusing again his old video, wow.
That's quality. But with this bunker pack in particular, the doors are still labeled as test cells, you can't actually build in the bunker player homes you bought, and oh yeah, you can't fast travel out of them either. All of those problems are still in this paid content that's now a month old, and seemingly none of these problems will be fixed in 2025. Although if you are buying all of this stuff,
nice.
The game will now recognize Creation Club content when loading a save from a past build. So here, it recognizes I am missing stuff and allows me to immediately download that when loading the save, just like with regular creations, which genuinely is nice to avoid loading in with missing content. Beyond that, many of the fixes were around the creation menu's UI, a bunch of bugs were resolved here. One of the more notable changes being that they restored the best results option. So now if you actually search for something, instead of only being able to sort by alphabetical or date, you could just get the best results, kind of just being the most relevant results to that search term. And another potentially massive change going forward, creations that were deleted from the storefront can now be deleted from your load order. This was a huge problem in the past, where you could basically brick this entire load order menu if something that was on your load order was removed from the mod menu. So if a mod author just deleted one of their mods, but
oh yeah, I remember this.
You had it installed, all of a sudden this load order menu wouldn't load at all, and you'd have to delete your entire load order to go forward. That specific problem was resolved.
Just another day at Bethesda. I mean, if you're playing Bethesda things and you're allowing Bethesda to update them, that's on you for being stupid. You had years to figure this out. That's not a good idea.
When this creation menu was introduced, but thankfully this most recent edition makes it so something like that can't happen again. Beyond that, a ton of crash fixes, particularly with the creation menu itself, were also resolved here. People were crashing when reloading data after downloading some new mods. This download all creations option was a big one, causing a ton of people to crash right after you hit download all, which of course made actually getting into the game a really big problem. But thankfully many of these were fixed today, with a notable focus around some of the crashes happening on PlayStation. Although that fix that many on PlayStation have been begging for sadly still isn't here, as many people on both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 still cannot use their DLC for Fallout 4.
Oh no.
Basically all of the platforms had DLC problems when the anniversary update came out. For PC and Xbox, the game just thought you didn't have your DLC installed, but if you went in game, you could still access that content. Conversely, for PlayStation users, it was actually just gone. You couldn't access any of the DLC content, and for some players, that's still a problem, which means that 2 months ago, they were successfully able to play play Fallout 4 with DLC, an anniversary update came out, and now some of them can't play the game with DLC. And this too is likely to continue into 2026 because no more updates are coming this year. And the same is true for this free paid mod that Bethesda released. This also isn't on PlayStation still. So for some players, this update literally just broke their DLC and then didn't do much.
I love, by the way, how the paid promoting channels are like, Bethesda released this new free content, and the content is a gun that barely works. You gotta appreciate it. You really gotta just take in this, okay?
Shells for them. Realistically, you're looking at mid-January at the earliest for when this might be resolved. Thankfully, things did go a bit better for PC players after this update. The freeze that would occur when exiting the game seems to have been fully resolved, as well as they fixed ultra-wide. Again, ultra-wide...
I absolutely love when there's a freeze when you exit the game. Like, how do you mess up something as simple as shut down the thing that's running?
Was originally added in the Fallout 4 next-gen update from last year, but had a ton of problems. Bethesda basically just added in the ultra-wide resolution, but didn't actually update any of the UI or HUD to work with a wider resolution.
Yeah, they just scaled it up by 1%. It was so jarring. Now, admittedly, not really a big loss. If you're playing on ultra-wide, you already have issues.
And a half later, with the anniversary update, Bethesda did fix much of the HUD and UI, but sadly, they forgot to get everything.
Wait, so what? That means it's like literally years later and they finally fixed the bug? Do we now have to wait literal years for bugs to be fixed?
As Workshop and even certain other menus weren't updated even still, but with
Nice.
today's update, they finally are.
Ooh.
So 3 updates in, it seems like Fallout 4 finally has a functioning ultra-wide mode, and they even tackled some of the weird performance issues that would come up when playing this way. And that's it. Which does mean one very notable thing was absent from this update. That mod storage space increase for Xbox players did not come today. It was a goal of ours to launch storage expansion on console this year, knowing it's been one of the top requests from players. While the team has made progress, we need a little more time to roll this out for console players and will need to wait until the new year. Please keep an eye on our channels for updates on future patches and new creation content coming in the new year. And honestly, this sucks. The mod storage space expansion was something originally planned for that second November update, then pushed to a hopeful addition for the December update, and now just sometime in 2026. They definitely make it seem like it'll still be relatively early, probably in the first quarter. I don't know, is this something we are hopeful for January? I'm personally not. Obviously, with how these updates for Fallout 4 have been going, nearly all of them have had some kind of underlying issue or problem. I'm personally somewhat glad.
I like how Bethesda is in total like 120% bug rate for everything that they implement.
That they're making sure they got the mod update right. Like, if they somehow ruin a bunch of people's mods or mod load orders, that would be really bad. And on that note, make sure you back up your load order. When this storage space increase does come, it will wipe your load order. Bethesda has confirmed that. And if you're about to download a bunch of mods over the holiday season and continue to change your load order, do remember you have to keep backing it up. So on one hand, I definitely feel for...
Wait, look at this. Okay? $1, $3, old school cool, like a couch. You get a couch. You see that? That's a couch. You see this? That's a couch right there. That's a couch. Oh my god, $3. Okay, the survivalist toolbox. You're getting a tent. Do you see that? That's a tent right there. Bards, NPCs, and names for all. I have no idea what this is. This changes literally your names, and you have to pay $2. Ooh.
Mods over the holiday season and continue to change your load order, do remember you have to keep backing it up. So on one hand, I definitely feel for the Bethesda devs. I definitely say that, hey, give them the time they need, make sure they actually get this update right. But at the same time, I am left wondering, why are we waiting for this anyway? Fallout 4's anniversary update has objectively made the game worse for a bunch of people. It broke mods and DLC for tons on the first week after launch, and now a month later, there are still PlayStation players unable to access that DLC. This has had tons of problems and created headaches for even some of the most casual of players, all just to add paid mods. It's not like the game got notably better if you're not spending more money on any of this new content. The one silver lining was that a mod space expansion was promised. something Bethesda didn't even announce in the original Anniversary Edition reveal, but instead was included in some later communication after Anniversary Edition shipped and broke everything. So as Bethesda was promising to fix some of the bugs, they were also like, oh yeah, hey, a mod storage space expansion is also coming. Because even in this post from Bethesda, they say it was a goal of ours to launch storage expansion on console this year, knowing it's been one of the top requests from players. Why is this top request from players such an afterthought for the 10-year anniversary of the game? Like last year, they updated Fallout 4 after a massive player surge from the show, and then just left the game broken until this year's update, which just undid all of that broken stuff. It's not like they went around and actually fixed all of those changes, they just removed them. So now you have this 1.5-year gap where you know another TV show season was coming, where you know, okay, there's going to be another massive boost to the player count for this game. We've heard Todd Howard talk about how they prepared the games for the launch this time around. And I mean, even in an interview I was watching—
That is probably such an absolute lie. That, like, I mean, they probably did try, but it's also going to end in disaster, and everyone knows it. And you know what? I'm happy for that. I'm happy every time Bethesda fails. I'm not gonna lie, boys. It's so simple.
Earlier today, that released earlier today, Todd Howard was talking about how they coordinated timelines with the show for the games.
So going into season 2, we knew, hey, we could take advantage of it even more. And also because we had sort of, understanding how the show was made and being able to sync up kind of timelines, we were able to bring more things into particularly Fallout 76.
So to me, this just feels really bad. This makes it abundantly clear, at least to me, that the priority was paid mods, but even those were a failed launch.
The priority was always paid mods, and the fact that, again, people have not been able even to buy the paid mods for an extended period of time just shows how truly bad things are. I honestly don't think there is a future for Bethesda. Something is gonna happen. They have failure after failure under their belt, literally and metaphorically, and no one's gonna probably buy their new games. People are actively very much expressing their complete lost in faith that they will even buy, for example, Elder Scrolls. After everything that we have seen from Bethesda, people don't believe anymore. The loss of faith is just absolutely monumental. Anyway, that was Juicehead, 10 out of 10. Bye!